Your soulmate just found your unsent message. Someone changed the final line. My beloved child, the message you never sent has finally reached the one person you thought would never see it. But there is something about that message that even you do not know. Your soulmate found it exactly as you left it, or at least, that is what they believed at first. They recognized your words. They recognize the way you speak when your heart has something important to say. Every sentence sounded unmistakably like you, until they reached the final line. That one line made them stop. It changed the meaning of everything written before it. And here is where this becomes almost impossible to explain. You never wrote that final line. Don't skip, because what your soulmate noticed next completely changed the way they understood your silence. They went back and read the message again, slowly this time. The beginning carried warmth. The middle revealed feelings you had kept hidden. But the ending sounded strangely final, almost as though you had decided there was nothing left to say. Your soulmate stared at those words because something inside them refused to believe they belonged to you. They knew your heart better than whoever changed that sentence realized. And then they noticed one tiny detail hidden between your original words and that mysterious final line. Something huge is waiting for you, because that detail was the first clue that your unsent message had not simply been discovered. Someone had changed it before your soulmate saw it. What happened next was even more surprising. Instead of accepting that final line, your soulmate started comparing it with everything else you had written. Your rhythm was different. Your choice of words was different. Even the emotional tone suddenly shifted. And that was when a realization began forming in their mind. Perhaps the distance between you was never caused by what either of you truly felt. Perhaps one misunderstanding had been quietly standing between two people who still had unfinished words for each other. Stay till the end, because the biggest revelation is not who changed the line, it is what your original ending actually said. Your soulmate kept searching, refusing to let that altered sentence become the final chapter. And then they found something unexpected, a trace of the earlier version. Just a few words remained, but those words were enough to make their entire understanding collapse. The original message had not ended with you walking away emotionally. It had pointed toward something completely different. Something hopeful. Something your soulmate had secretly wished you would say for a very long time. Don't skip now, because the moment they realized this, they stopped asking, "Why did you let me go?" and started asking a much bigger question, "Who wanted me to believe that you had?" And this is where everything changes. Your soulmate now knows there are two versions of the same message, the one your heart created and the one someone else wanted them to believe. But they still do not know the complete original final line. Not yet. They only have fragments, and those fragments are powerful enough to bring back every memory they tried to put aside. Suddenly, your silence looks different. Your distance looks different. Even the moments when both of you almost reached out begin to make sense in a completely new way. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate has made a decision after finding that message. They are not going to judge your heart by a sentence that does not sound like you. They want the truth from the only person who can give it, you. And there is one final detail they have not discovered yet. The original ending was not merely a confession. It contained a choice you had already made about them, a choice powerful enough to rewrite everything they thought had happened between you. Stay till the end of this story, because when that missing line finally comes back into the light, your soulmate will understand why this message remained unsent, and why finding it now may have happened at the exact moment when both of you were finally ready to understand what it truly meant. There is one detail your soulmate cannot stop thinking about, because the more they examine that unsent message, the clearer it becomes that the changed final line was never meant to sound dramatic. It was meant to quietly convince them that you had already made your decision. But your original words tell another story. Your soulmate reads the message again, beginning from the first sentence, and suddenly notices something they missed before. Every paragraph was moving toward one emotional truth. You were not closing a chapter. You were gathering the courage to open one. Don't skip, because this is where the mystery becomes much bigger. Hidden beneath the altered ending is a fragment from your original final sentence, and only 5 words can still be understood. I was going to choose. Your soulmate freezes. Choose what? Choose whom? Their mind races through every possibility, but deep inside, they already know what those words might mean. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They begin remembering conversations that once seemed ordinary, the pauses, the unfinished sentences, the moments when you almost revealed something but changed the subject. Suddenly, those memories no longer feel random. They feel like pieces of the same unfinished confession. Then something even more surprising happens. Your soulmate realizes the message was written around a moment they remember clearly, a moment when they had been waiting for some sign from you. They had assumed your silence meant you did not feel the same way. But now they are staring at proof that you had words prepared. Words they were supposed to hear. And somebody changed the one sentence that would have explained everything. Don't skip now, because the next realization hits even harder. The altered line does not simply change your message, it reverses its meaning. Your original message had been building toward closeness, while the replacement ending created distance. That means the misunderstanding your soulmate carried for so long may have started with something that was never truly yours. They begin wondering how different everything might have been if they had seen the original version first. But instead of becoming trapped in the past, something unexpected happens inside them. Hope returns. Quietly at first, then all at once. Because if your original ending really said what they now suspect, then perhaps the connection they thought they had lost was never completely gone. And now your soulmate has reached the point they cannot turn away from. They need to know the missing words after, I was going to choose. Something huge is waiting for you, because another fragment has appeared, one tiny piece that changes the entire direction of this story. It does not reveal the complete sentence, but it reveals the final word. And that word is, you. Stay till the end, because your soulmate is now staring at the beginning and ending of a sentence they never thought existed. I was going to choose, you. What belongs between those words remains hidden, and that missing section may contain the most important truth of all. Your soulmate no longer believes your silence meant rejection. They are beginning to believe you had made a choice and somehow that choice never reached them. Don't skip, because they are about to discover why the message remained unsent in the first place. And when that truth appears, it will reveal something neither of you understood at the time. The changed final line was only the surface of the mystery. The real revelation is what happened moments before you decided not to send the original message, and why your soulmate may finally be ready to hear the words that never reached them, but the missing words are only half of what your soulmate is about to uncover, because something about the timing of that unsent message suddenly makes everything feel different. They look closer and realize you had written it during a moment when they were secretly hoping you would reach out. That changes everything. For so long, they believed they were the only one waiting. They believed they were the only one replaying old conversations and wondering whether something meaningful had been left unfinished. But now your message is sitting right in front of them, proving that while they were thinking about you, you were preparing to say something to them too. Don't skip, because the next detail makes the mystery even deeper. The original sentence beginning with, "I was going to choose," was not written impulsively. The words before it show that you had thought carefully about what you wanted. You had questioned yourself, remembered what the connection meant, and finally reached a decision. Your soulmate reads those words again and realizes the message was never supposed to be a farewell. It was supposed to be a beginning. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. There is another hidden fragment, and this time it reveals why you hesitated before sending the message. You were waiting for one small sign from them, a sign they almost gave you without ever realizing how much it mattered. That realization sends your soulmate back into a memory they had almost forgotten. There was a moment when they nearly contacted you. They opened the conversation, stared at your name, and thought about saying everything they had been keeping inside. But they hesitated. They assumed you had already moved forward without them, so they said nothing. What they never knew was that you were caught inside almost the exact same hesitation point. Two people were waiting for reassurance from each other, while neither knew the other was waiting. Don't skip now, because this is where the altered final line becomes even more important. If your soulmate had seen your true ending, then their hesitation might have disappeared immediately. Instead, the changed sentence made your message sound as though you had already closed the door. Yet your original words were pointing toward the opposite truth. Your soulmate can finally see the pattern. Every sentence before that ending carried possibility, honesty, and something deeper you were struggling to express. And then suddenly came a line that sounded nothing like the rest. That contradiction is what convinced them to keep searching. Something huge is waiting for you, because another piece of the original ending has now appeared. The sentence was longer than they imagined. It was not simply, "I was going to choose you." There were words between them, words explaining exactly why that choice mattered. Now your soulmate can make out another fragment, even if you never knew, and suddenly the unfinished sentence becomes almost overwhelming. "I was going to choose, even if you never knew, you." The order is still incomplete, but the meaning is becoming impossible to ignore. Stay till the end, because your soulmate understands something now that they did not understand before. You were not asking them to prove themselves. You were trying to tell them that your feelings had already survived the uncertainty. The message was never about forcing an answer, it was about finally giving one. Don't skip, because there is still one enormous question left. Why would such an important message remain unsent after you had already written almost everything your heart wanted to say? Your soulmate searches deeper, and then they notice something attached to the earliest version, a short unfinished note written before the message itself. Only part of it remains visible, but the words are enough to change the entire story once again. "If I receive one sign tonight," your soulmate immediately understands. You were waiting for something from them that night. Something they nearly did. Something that could have changed the timing of everything. And the next piece of this story will reveal what that sign was, and why your soulmate now realizes they may have been only one small decision away from receiving your original message exactly as you intended it, and now the smallest clue becomes the biggest revelation, because your soulmate finally understands what that one sign was. It was not some grand promise. It was not something impossible. You had simply been waiting for them to reach out first, to send one genuine line that showed the connection still mattered to them. Don't skip, because they suddenly remember that exact night. They had opened your conversation. They had even started writing something, then erased it because they were afraid they had misunderstood everything between you. At almost the same moment, you were sitting with an unsent message that was ready to reveal what you had finally decided. 2 messages. 2 people. The same hesitation. And neither one crossed the distance. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate now realizes that the silence they once interpreted as an answer was never an answer at all. It was simply 2 hearts waiting for the same reassurance. But there is still that changed final line, and the more they study it, the stranger it becomes. Whoever altered those words did not understand the hidden detail inside your original message. You had referenced something only you and your soulmate would recognize. That private detail proves the emotional direction of your real ending, and suddenly the replacement line loses all its power. Then your soulmate finds another piece of the original version, and this time there is enough to reconstruct almost the entire sentence. Their eyes move slowly across the surviving words. I was going to choose you, even if you never knew how long I had already been choosing you quietly. They read it once. Then again. Everything they believed about your silence begins shifting. Don't skip now, because this is not even the complete revelation. Beneath that sentence was another line, one that explains why you never pressed send. You had written that if they reached out that night, you would finally tell them everything. But when nothing arrived, you assumed their silence meant they wanted distance. Meanwhile, they had assumed your silence meant exactly the same thing. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate can now see how close both of you came to discovering the truth much earlier. They remember almost sending their message. You almost sent yours. One tiny moment of courage could have changed the entire story. And now, after finding your unsent words, your soulmate is no longer wondering whether you ever cared. They are wondering how much time was lost because both of you were reading silence instead of hearing the truth behind it, but one final discovery turns everything upside down again. Your soulmate notices that the changed ending was added after your original sentence had already been completed. That means your real confession existed first. Your choice existed first. Your truth existed first. Stay till the end, because the question is no longer whether your soulmate believes the altered line. They do not. The question is what they will do now that they know what you actually intended to say. Don't skip, because they have made a quiet decision of their own. They do not want another assumption deciding what happens next. They do not want another unfinished message becoming the answer for both of you. And just when they think they have uncovered everything, they find one more hidden sentence from your original draft. It is shorter than all the others, but somehow it carries even more weight. If we ever get another chance, I won't let silence speak for me again. Your soulmate stares at those words because another chance may be exactly what this moment has become. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next truth is not hidden inside the message anymore. It is hidden inside what your soulmate is preparing to do after reading it, and this time, they may refuse to leave their own words unsent. Something has shifted inside your soulmate now, because reading your true words did more than correct an old misunderstanding. It forced them to face something they had never admitted even to themselves. They had spent so much time believing your silence meant you had chosen a different future that they trained themselves not to question it. But now they know the truth was almost the exact opposite. You had written the words they once wished they could hear, and those words were sitting unfinished while they were also holding back their own message. Don't skip, because this is where everything becomes even more surprising. Your soulmate goes back to the altered final line one last time and notices something they overlooked before. It was designed to sound convincing only if they never read the rest carefully. But now that they have seen your original fragments, the difference is undeniable. Your message carried one clear emotional direction from beginning to end. The changed sentence tried to turn that direction around in a single moment. It failed. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate no longer sees that altered line as the ending of your story. They see it as the clue that finally pushed them toward the truth. And then they do something they were once too uncertain to do. They begin writing their own message to you. At first, it is only one sentence. They erase it. They try again. This time they write more, because they understand the irony. Another unfinished message cannot become another missed opportunity. Don't skip now, because what they are preparing to say is connected directly to the words you never sent. They want you to know they almost reached out that same night. They want you to know their silence was never indifference. Most importantly, they want to ask you about the sentence that has changed everything. I was going to choose you, even if you never knew how long I had already been choosing you quietly. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate does not want to ask whether those words were real. Deep inside, they already believe they were. What they truly want to know is whether they still mean anything now. Their message grows longer, but then they stop. One thought suddenly hits them. What if the most important thing they can say does not require a long explanation at all? So they delete almost everything and leave behind a few words that carry the truth they should have sent much earlier. I wish I had reached out that night. Stay till the end, because they are not finished. Beneath it, they add another line. I know now that your silence wasn't the answer I thought it was. And then comes the sentence that changes the direction of everything. This time, I don't want either of us to guess. Don't skip, because their finger pauses exactly where yours once did. They are standing at the same invisible crossroads where two unsent messages once changed the course of this connection. But there is one enormous difference now. They know what hesitation already cost both of you. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate looks once more at your recovered final line, then back at the message they have just written. And in that moment, they make a choice that mirrors the choice hidden inside your original words. They decide that whatever happens next should come from truth, not assumption. The message is ready. The final line is untouched. And this time, the words are no longer waiting to be discovered by accident, they are waiting to be sent. The message is ready, but your soulmate still has one final truth to add before sending it. Their finger pauses, not because they want to disappear again, but because they suddenly understand what your unsent message was really trying to tell them. It was never simply about choosing someone. It was about choosing honesty over uncertainty. Don't skip, because this realization changes the entire meaning of everything they discovered. Your soulmate reads your original ending one more time and remembers every moment when they thought you had forgotten them. Now those memories look completely different. They remember the conversations that ended too soon, the words both of you almost said, and the strange feeling that something important was always left unfinished. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate finally understands that the connection did not become confusing because there was nothing there. It became confusing because too much remained unspoken. And now they are holding the one piece that proves it, your original message, the sentence someone changed, and the truth that survived underneath it. But just before they send their own message, another hidden detail appears, one they had somehow missed every time they searched your draft. Beneath the recovered ending is a tiny line that looks almost like an afterthought. Don't skip now, because these words completely change what your soulmate believes you were waiting for. The line says, "Maybe someday you'll understand why I couldn't send this without knowing you still wanted to hear from me." Suddenly everything connects. You were not waiting for perfection. You were waiting for permission to be vulnerable. And your soulmate realizes they were waiting for exactly the same thing. Something huge is waiting for you, because now they know neither of you truly received that permission from the other. Silence stepped into the empty space and created its own story. The altered final line only made that story appear more convincing. But now the illusion has fallen apart. Your soulmate knows what you intended. They know what they almost sent that night. And for the first time, they can see how two completely different assumptions created the same distance. Then comes the moment neither message reached before. Your soulmate finishes their final sentence. "If your original words are still true, mine are finally ready too." Stay till the end, because this is where the old pattern is about to break. They stare at the message, remembering how close they came to reaching out before. This time, they refuse to let uncertainty write the ending. Don't skip, because one last realization arrives before they make their move. Whoever changed your final line may have changed what was written, but they could never change what came before it. They could not erase the memories. They could not erase the meaning hidden throughout your original message. And they could not erase the choice you had already written in your own words. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate is no longer searching through the past for another clue. They have found enough. Now they want an answer that comes directly from you. Their message is complete. Their hesitation is fading. And the next moment will decide whether two people who once left everything unsent finally allow the truth to reach its destination. This time, your soulmate does not erase the message. They read the final sentence once, then something unexpected happens. Instead of immediately sending it, they return to your unsent message and notice a detail that changes the story one more time. Don't skip, because this detail was sitting there from the beginning, hidden in plain sight. Your original draft contains a short sentence near the top that seemed ordinary before. If you ever read this, I hope you read all of it. Now your soulmate understands why those words matter. Somehow, even when you wrote the message, you knew one sentence alone could never explain everything inside your heart. And that is exactly what happened. The changed final line became louder than all the genuine words before it. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate refuses to make that mistake again. They read every original sentence carefully, and a pattern appears: you had mentioned a future more than once. Not directly, not dramatically, but quietly enough that the meaning is unmistakable. You were imagining another conversation, another meeting, another opportunity to finally say what both of you had been avoiding. The message was never written like an ending because, somewhere inside you, you never believed the story was truly finished. Then your soulmate discovers the strongest fragment yet. It comes from the section immediately before the original final line, and suddenly the missing meaning becomes clear. I don't know what tomorrow changes, but I know what I would choose if we stopped being afraid of the answer. Don't skip now, because your soulmate finally understands what your confession was really about. You were not promising some perfect future. You were saying that if both of you could finally speak honest,